to another episode of Inmate Tea with A and P. I'm April.
And I'm Patricia.
And we are here today with Michael Marshall, the founder of PCONN. And Michael, could you explain to us what your service does?
Absolutely. Thank you for inviting me, first of all.
Absolutely.
Thank you for coming. And we know you traveled far.
Awesome. Yeah, a little tired. But PCONN is a community-based ride-sharing app strictly for prison visitations. We keep families connected, and we make sure everyone get visits, because that's a huge problem in the prison.
Yeah,
so we
definitely.
Make sure everybody have a chance to get visited by their loved ones. So that's what PCONN is. We just basically take you to go see your loved one, and we incentivize the people that's already going to visit to see their loved one.
Okay, so before we jump into that, because we want to dive into that and explain how this came about and everything, but let's give our viewers some of your backstory. Where are you from?
Okay. Now, how far do you want to go back?
We want to know what you want to tell us.
Okay. Well, I'm originally from Baltimore, Maryland.
Okay.
Born and raised in Baltimore, Maryland. Then I moved to Charlotte, North Carolina. I can explain a little bit, a short version of how I got there. But in Baltimore, at 15 years old, my mom left me, and I came home to an empty house. The house was empty.
Oh my goodness.
Got out of school. Wasn't nobody there.
Did you have siblings?
Yeah, my sister was on tour. My older sister was on tour. She sings, so she was gone. My younger sister was gone with my mom. So I thought somebody broke into the house, took everything. So I called my grandmother. She's like, "Your mother moved to North Carolina." And I was like,
"How old were you? Said 15?
Then?
She didn't give you a warning, nothing?
No, nothing. I just came home from school on a regular day. She was gone.
Did she suffer from mental health or anything?
No, I mean, she had drug issues, back then. So I just...
Has she ever done something like that before?
No.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
So, I just had to fend for myself at 15.
What did you do? I'm just going to say, a typical 15-year-old, I know me, I would have been like, let's have a house party. But once it set in, it's like, what do you do?
For 3 days I cried, probably. I will say I cried for about 3 days. And then I just got up and went down to the bottom of my projects and was like, look, I went from being an inspiring mechanical engineer, because that's what I wanted to be, to now I got to hustle. So now I'm in the streets, I got to survive, I got to do what I got to do. And that's kind of how the whole turn of me eventually going to prison took place, because of that turning point in my life. So I had to look back and say, okay, well, where did it go wrong? But when my mom left me, I came into survival mode and got into some things that I shouldn't have been into, just trying to survive. So that's how I ended up in North Carolina, because I jumped on the Greyhound eventually in search for my mother. And I didn't
How long did you stay by yourself?
Probably about 6 months. I didn't even know how to pay the bills. Like, I didn't even know how to pay. I would go to the rent people. Once I started hustling and making the money, I'd go to the rent people and say, my mother was sick. Hey, my mother's sick, and she want me to pay the rent. And it's like, well, you got to get a money order and this and that. So they taught me how to. They didn't know they was teaching me, and I didn't know how to pay the power bill. So I was like, how do I pay the power bill? And you got to go down here to the Rite Aid and pay the power bill. So I'm learning all this as I go along. I'm feeding myself. I'm cooking. And I got friends over, so it became cool once I had some money. But it really, it kind of was a turning point in my life. Then I just got tired of just being alone, and jumped on a Greyhound and searched for my mom, because they said she would be in Charlotte. They said she was going to North Carolina. So when I got there, I couldn't find her. I ended up being homeless, sleeping on benches downtown Charlotte, eating out the trash can, just going through what I went through, and then found a way to hustle down there as well, and then the rest is kind of history.
Did you find your mom?
Eventually, yeah. Eventually.
Was it what you thought? She was on drugs?
Yeah. And that's my sweet. She's my sweetheart now. She's 15 years clean, wrote a book, everything. She was going through. I didn't know she was going through until she wrote the book. So, but yeah, she was going through a lot in her life. So, but I'm the only boy, so it's like, I guess you're like, man up, you got to figure this out. And I did. I mean, everything I learned through the course of that it helped me. But fast forward to PCONN, I don't like to see families abandoned, because I have abandonment issues. That happened to me when I was younger. So that's where my passion comes behind the app itself. And when I was in prison, I seen a lot of people didn't get visits.
How long were you incarcerated for?
10.5 years.
What would you get incarcerated for?
Bank fraud and money laundering.
Okay.
So I went to the feds. I got picked up in 2013. Okay. And I got out in 2022.
Okay.
Did you make this plan while you were incarcerated?
I did. Okay. I started writing in a prison notebook in 2014, 15, something like that. And I was getting visits, so I would be so ecstatic. After I leave my visit, I would go back to the unit just happy. And then people just didn't have the same energy. And prison is a place of energy. if you don't inject certain positive energies into the environment, it can be hostile. So the more positivity you inject, the more things is going on, more people is happy. You know, you have a peaceful environment. So
Right.
I was just wondering why people wasn't getting visits. Like, why y'all girl not coming? Why y'all mom not coming? Distance, pricing, expensive. Most prisons are in rural areas. There's no prisons in any city where you can really get jails are, but not prisons.
That's true.
So-
Yeah, I mean they're way out there,
They're
away
way out
from any kind of like
I
civilization.
never thought about that. It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they separate you. So, and trying to catch an Uber, because people say, okay, well, why use PCONN? Why not catch an Uber? Well, Uber going to cost you upward. We did the math, upward of between $200 to $400 one way, because they're so far.
Right.
And then when you get there and get dropped off, they take your phone when you go on visitation because you put it in a locker.
Right.
But when you leave, you have to get off the premises. So where you gonna wait on your Uber at?
You gotta walk
Uh-huh.
off the
You gotta walk off the ground somewhere in the middle of nowhere and hope an Uber come out and get you.
Yeah.
So with PCONN, you're in visitation with your driver.
Okay.
Your driver picks you up. Y'all go visit y'all separate loved ones together, and y'all leave together.
So give us a detailed thing. So how did this you?
This is
started
a
writing
great
your-
idea.
It is.
By
So
the
how
way,
did
I just wanted to say that.
So,
This is great.
What was the first step?
after seeing people not getting visits,
Right.
I was getting visits on a regular.
Mhm.
So my significant other was coming every weekend.
Okay.
So as she coming, I'm just asking. I'm like, where your people live at? Where your people live at? And they'll tell me, and I was like, I'll tell her, hey, could you go pick up his mom? Could you go pick up his girlfriend? Pick up his baby, and she'll pick him up, and all of them come to visit together. So as that went on, people around the prison yard heard about it. I was like, hey, is your people coming? Where's she coming from this week? And I'm like, oh, she coming from such. Can she pick up? And then we would just book. It's like it was a waiting list. Everybody was coming to me, hey, you got room this weekend? I'm like, man, I probably won't have no room till like 2 months from now.
Oh wow.
Because everybody is booking.
Yeah.
So we would sit down in visitation, and she was like, this is getting crazy. We might need to get some vans.
I was just up that. Was she
And I
driving?
was like, well, I thought about the vans, and I was like, well, I wanted to be in every prison in the United States. That's a lot of vans.
Right.
And a lot of liability. I said, we're going to have to own too many vans. I said, we have to figure out a way to do it in a manner where we don't have to have all this liability. So I had just read about Uber in prison. I was reading what they were doing. And I was like, so that's what gave me the idea and the concept. I was like, what if I can come up with something like Uber? So every night when the squad, I just start writing down. I mean, I even drew a box and how I want the app to look, how I want the flyers, the colors, just everything. I just for 9 years, and then she was still bringing people. Then I moved prisons. Once I moved prisons, people were still trying to get a ride, but I was in Pennsylvania now. I started off in Butner, and once I got moved from Butner to Pennsylvania, it was like she wasn't no longer coming, but people still needed to see their people.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was in visit discussion with her that we need to figure out how to create more use
Right.
in all the prisons, and then just incentivize them, just try to pay them. So we just came up with just like airplanes, they sell seats.
Right.
That's what PCONN do. We sell seats. You just sell seats in your vehicle. If you're going to see somebody, you got 3 seats available, sell them.
Okay. And what states are you utilizing this?
Right
now?
now, we started in Texas and Pennsylvania. It went crazy. I had to pull back because you have to really, as a startup, especially technology, you have to have boots on the ground. You have to really be there. So because if someone can't do the ride, you have to be able to step in and do it yourself. It's your company.
Right.
You got to step up. So I couldn't just be. I mean, I was getting ride requests in Texas, then I get the same ride requests in Pennsylvania. I couldn't be there. It's like it's impossible. So we scaled it back and just did Georgia since I'm in Atlanta. I can cover Georgia. If push come to shove, we don't have a driver or two, then I'll cover it myself, or my son will cover it, or somebody, friends, family, whatever.
Yeah.
So we scaled back and we rolled out to Georgia, the states in Georgia, the prisons in Georgia, and then we're just going to go from there. So Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Alabama, Tennessee. We're just going to spread there as we grow, because we have a lot of ride requests, but we don't have enough drivers.
That's what I'm wondering. How are you getting the drivers? How are you even?
So we launching a driver campaign. Like we just go in Georgia, we just going out to the prisons and catching people in the visitation line.
Right.
Yeah.
Passing out flyers.
Yeah, passing out flyers. So
Uh-huh.
we really just doing it the guerrilla way right now.
Got it.
But the thing is, you have to, and the type of app it is and the type of situation it is, it's not the app that's going to sell itself. You have to get people to care first.
Right.
Because everyone knows someone incarcerated that they don't go see.
Right.
So what we need to do is, make a public service announcement on the visitation. Go see your loved one. It's important. It's important for them. It's important for their mental health. regardless of what they did, go see them. They're still your family member, your loved one. Go see them. And until we voice that issue, PCONN is not going to matter. Because you're not going to utilize PCONN if you don't care about going to see your loved one.
Right.
You have to go see your loved one.
And it's so important to that fact, because we were just talking about mental health in the prison. That right there in itself improves mental health. You just said you come back from your visits and you're just excited. You're happy. It uplifts your spirit. So if you're that person that never gets a visit, and it's because they don't have a way.
Because they don't have a way.
That should be this is a really good fix.
Yeah.
So how are you promoting this? What are you doing to like?
I'm just on every Facebook group, Instagram, just putting little ads out. Just ads for now, because I didn't want to go. We tried the large marketing and it didn't resonate with the people well, because you have to care about the problem first.
Right.
So I did an inside out approach. I said, okay, well, let's send flyers. Instead of trying to send flyers to people out here who have their everyday lives going on and they really have to care, let's send it to the people inside and let them call home.
Right.
And because when they make that call, if they, they matter. So you can call home and tell your significant other or your grandmother, hey, the service, come see me. Now it's away. Now there's no excuse.
Right.
Because when everybody is in their everyday life, it's just life is life. And so, me trying to advertise to the masses out here, you get a handful of people that will care, a handful of people that won't.
Right.
But in there, they're actually in there, so they can actually call and say, hey, you can come see me. Download the PCONN app, go on the website, book your ride.
And word of mouth, that spreads quicker than your advertisement.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
so when you moved prisons, sorry, April, hold on. When you switched prisons, you said you were no longer getting your visits?
No, I'm still getting mine. But the people she was bringing there, they wasn't anymore because they didn't have anyone to ride with.
Right.
So they were still calling her, said, hey, you coming this weekend? And she was like, I'm going to a whole nother prison this weekend.
Right.
He's in Pennsylvania now. So, we had to find a way to keep it going.
Yeah.
And every day you see people in the visitation room and they're alone. Like, hey, well, if you can bring 2 or 3 people with you and get paid for doing so, you probably come more. Because it's not such a burden now. You're selling your seats in your vehicle and you're building a community, because everyone in that car has something in common. Y'all have an incarcerated loved one.
Right.
So now it's a support system, because her person might have been doing 5 years. Your person may have just got incarcerated, so you don't know how to handle. She's been doing it for 5 years, so she can give you advice on what to do and how she's been getting through for 5 years.
Yeah.
That's so true.
And I think it's so important that you come on here and you talk about this, because our viewers, a lot of them are loved ones of incarcerated people. And I think that, as a family member, as a loved one of someone incarcerated, I think that it's easy for us out here to get lost in life and all that's happening.
Yes.
And we lose sight of how important it is to make sure we make those visits.
That's it.
Because our loved one is sitting in there, and that's what they're looking forward to. However the duration is before they get a visit, that's what they're looking forward to. And if we can't make it, then we're taking something from them that, could help them mentally get through.
Absolutely. That visit is real important. And you get a hug when you come in, and you get a hug when you leave.
Right.
That hug is what breathes life back in you to continue to move forward with your time. They did a study about babies, and the babies that were touched lived, and the ones that didn't died. So the human touch is really, really important, and people don't understand that. So that hug that you get in the beginning of the visit and that hug that you get when someone is leaving is super important. Like, I look for mine all week. Like, that's and it kept me out of trouble, because I knew at the end of the week I need to see my loved ones. So I'm gonna stay out of the riffraff.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay out of the riffraff. So when you're not getting that, you really don't have nothing to look forward to. You into everything.
All right, so can you explain to our viewers, family members that might be watching, how can they, get in touch with your program to initiate a rideshare?
Absolutely. You can go to iampconn.com. That's IAMPCONN.com, and it's a book now button. You can book now. You can download the app right now. The app is under construction. We had to pull it off the Apple. It's on Android. We had to pull off Apple to do some compliance things and get some things but you can always book through the website, iampconn.com. Click book now, and as long as we have a driver in your area, we'll find you. We're also available on IG at iampconn.com, and I can be found at themichaelmarshall.com or at themichaelmarshall on IG.
And we'll link that information in this video as well.
Absolutely, and we'll also put it down below in the description, a link to the website. So,
What does PCONN stand for?
It stands for Prison Connect.
Prison Connect?
I didn't want to put the word prison in it because it's kind of cliche. Also, where I want PCONN to go, I didn't want it to be limited to just prisons.
Right.
So the P stands for Prison Connect, Place Connect, People Connect, because eventually I want to connect people to events, to places, and all together in a ride, like carpool system.
Right.
So not just prison. We're just starting off with prisons.
Right.
But eventually we're going to be going to baseball games, football games, concerts, everywhere. We're going to put people in the car together, going to the same place at the same time and bringing them back together.
Right, but then, so with that being said, I'm just trying to figure out the security part of it. If it's me and I'm going to visit my loved one in prison, how do you get these people to trust, like, putting these strangers in their car?
I'm glad you asked. So the reason what makes Pecan so different than any other ride sharing app is our drivers are already vetted by that prison. That's why in order to be a driver, you have to be going to see your loved one in prison.
Right.
Because that prison already does your background check. So you have to be in someone's approved visitation list in order to be a Pecan driver. So we basically piggybacks off the prison security and
So everybody participating in the rideshare has already got a background check.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need you to advertise it that way so that people like me might be a little bit more trusting. Like, you're right, they did get their background check. They're not crazy. They're going to, so.
Yeah, so most of our drivers just can't be just any Joe Schmo off the street. You can't do that. You have to actually be going to see your loved one in prison. You have to give us the prison that you're going to, and then we just connect you with others that want to go to that same prison.
Okay.
Right. So if someone wants to become one of your drivers, what do they need to do? They reach out as well?
Yeah, you just go on the app. You can go on the app. You can go on the website, and it's a driver. You click be a driver, become a driver, because we have a side for passenger and a side for driver. So you click be a driver. It's going to ask you to upload all your documentation, your vehicle, your driver's license, your insurance, everything like that. Yeah, we have a vetted process that our system vets you just like Uber's does.
Okay.
Right.
That sounds better, because I'm like, how is this? But that sounds complete legit, and I think if you explain it that way, more people would be trusting and be open to do it.
And for somebody that's already going to a visitation anyway,
Right.
why not do it?
Right.
You go ahead and put it in. That way, if somebody else is going to the same prison that you are for the visitation, hey, you're helping somebody else out.
Have you seen that this has improved morale within the prison? I mean, even when you were in there.
Oh yeah.
Like, you
know. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because now they're finally getting that visit.
Yeah, they're finally getting a visit, and that's all you talk about, and that's all you look forward to. So we have prison terminology. I know people who are watching, if you're in prison, if you've been in prison, or if you know someone in prison, visitation is called the dance floor.
The what?
The dance floor.
Okay.
So it's like we getting ready. You going on the dance floor this week?
Oh God.
So because we call it that because you get dressed, like you put on your best prison outfit, because your uniform, you get 3 or 4 uniforms when you get there. One you gonna go here. I know me. One I got tailored. So one I got tailored strictly for visitation.
What does a prison outfit look like? I don't even know.
It's just you have your tan. Well, in the Feds you wear tan.
Okay.
So you have your tan khakis and your tan shirt.
Okay.
And you get 3 of those. So one you might work in, one you might walk the yard in, or go to education, and because you have to have uniform when you're in education in certain up until 4 o'clock. After 4 o'clock you can wear your grays, but before 4 o'clock while administration on, you have to be in uniform, boots, and your khakis.
Okay.
So one uniform, you're gonna take that uniform and you're gonna take it to whoever and you're gonna get it custom, fitted so you can look good for whoever you're going to visitation to see. So you get your tennis shoes from the commissary. It's called your visit shoes. You put those in a plastic bag, and they don't come out unless you go on a visit. Okay. And then your other tennis shoes, you wear around the yard. So that's why we call it the dance.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I can see this now. I can see. I mean, you're in prison, so those little things like that
matters. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Especially the way you look, and you have to wear the same thing every day, so you want it to look as nice.
It's nice,
clean.
You iron it up, you press it, you crease it, and you fold it, and you hang it up. And you don't touch that unless you're going to visitation. That's the only time or pictures. But you have your other outfit for pictures. Right. But you mostly take pictures in visitation.
You should have some of the inmates that you've affected, like that hasn't received a visit in a long time. Do you have that, like someone that just has not received a visit in a really long time, and you've helped them? You should have them write and put that on your page to help promote that. That would be good.
Some testimonials.
That would really help.
This is great.
So since you've been out, just because I'm nosy, what are you doing now besides Peon? Did you tell me you were doing some prison reform stuff?
Yes. So I sit on an advisory board at a company called G-Men, and it's like G-Men is a second chance company that helps people, reintegrating to society. They're doing a whole bunch of things. So I'm an advisory board member there, and also I am a prison consultant for attorneys. Attorneys that call me in for people who've never been to prison before and they don't know what to expect. They'll call me in, and I can just tell them exactly what to expect.
That is
I did not even know that existed.
Me either, because think about that. There are so many people that have never been in trouble. They are freaking out. They don't know what to expect, and we only know what we see on TV.
Exactly.
So, and you hear the worst stories.
So I just go in and I just tell them, look, okay, so just let them ask me all the questions they want. Is it like this? Can you do this? Is it? And I just explain to them, no, it's not like this. Okay, this is how this is. Okay, is the food horrible? I mean, the food can be good, food can be hard. You have your good days, you have your bad days. It's not just all trash. And then you have commissary. So, commissary, as long as you get commissary, we really make our home meal. We make cheesecakes. We make cheesecakes out of coffee cream and graham crackers.
What?
And it's some of the best cheesecake I've ever tasted.
Wait, you still make this stuff out of the ground?
Oh my God. We gotta have you back for the episode.
Yeah,
we'll put the show. Yeah. I mean, then we make fried rice. So, you got your stingers. Your stinger is basically you take the bottom part of some metal or something, whatever metal, whether iron or just some metal, and you hook 2 wires to it, you put your washers on it, and you plug it up in the wall, and you drop it down in the water, and the water instantly starts boiling.
We got to have you come on.
Did y'all?
And
that's
do this
crazy.
with us.
And I try to tell people, some prison people, us, we're some of the most creative minds because we don't have
innovative
a lot.
Yeah.
Right.
So I also want to do as PCONN grow, I want to be able to help guys who have ideas because I've seen so many ideas in prison.
Right.
Cooking ideas. I'm talking about crafting ideas. It's some amazing minds in prison.
PCONN was an idea, and look at what you've made it. I mean, looking at your story, hearing your story is such an inspiration to see where you came from, the journey you've took, and what you did with it. And I commend you. Thank you for giving back.
It don't look like what your life is going to be like. I mean, at 15 when I got left, I didn't know I would be sitting here as a founder of a tech company for the same place that I was in that's supposed to have been so bad for me. And that was kind of like my purpose. That was kind of like my blessing in disguise. Because PCONN wouldn't be here if I didn't do 10 years.
Yeah.
It wouldn't exist. So, I mean, although I went through what I went through, it taught me a lot. It helped me a lot, and I can help a lot of people. Right. So, just if you're out there and you're going through something, if you're in prison right now, or if you've been in prison, don't let that define you. I was faced with homelessness, abandonment, prison, a lot of prison time, and I was able to overcome all those things and become what I am today.
Rose above it.
Proud, isn't she?
Yeah.
You're proud of yourself, aren't you? You should. One more question about PCONN, because someone might ask, how do you set your prices? Is it up to the person that's doing the route?
So that's a good question. So we're working with we're still trying to figure out the algorithms behind that, because initially when we rolled out, we say, hey, we're going to let them select how much the price of their seats. And if they set them too high, nobody don't buy them, so be it. Okay, the price is too high. Nobody's buying your seats. But then that's going to stop people from getting visits, because my whole goal is to get visits, not make money. I mean, the money going to come.
Right.
But when I walked out of that prison, my last day, and I was saying bye to everybody, everyone was saying, man, don't forget about PCONN, because they seen me talk about it so much and knew what I was going to do. And they just like, man, don't go home and forget about PCONN.
Right.
So I just want to make sure that they get visits. So now it's kind of like we're suggesting like an hourly maybe $50 an hour kind of, and if you go 2 ways, so if it's an hour there, hour back, $100. Yeah. But then we played with that, and like, okay, some prisons you drive 5 hours.
Right.
Now you at $250, but we're capping it at $250. So I was like, okay, well, let's just play with the algorithm of the mileage and then see if that works. So we're trying different things, but right now I'm saying people who's already going, let's just charge $50 a seat. Right. And then I'll ask this driver, are you willing to take somebody for $50? If they're going a distance, can we do $100?
Because they were going anyway.
You going anyway.
Right.
You wasn't going to make anything at first.
And that's covering your gas.
Exactly.
You get to get your oil changed now.
Exactly. So if you going anyway and you sell $50 a seat, you got 3 seats, that's $150 that you make, for going there.
Right.
So that helps. So that's what we're asking our drivers. Then eventually we'll just come up with a system and an algorithm that makes sense. So, and in Peon, we give the driver 70% and we keep 30%
Okay.
off of each transaction. So
Yeah.
we really want to incentivize the drivers because they're the ones going. So, you know, if you can get paid for going to see somebody on a weekend, you're gonna go more.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, well, you know what? I can make $200. I'm gonna go Friday and Saturday. That's $400. I can pay a bill.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
you'll have that's the mindset we want to create.
This is awesome.
This is.
I love this, and I think this is really gonna do well. I think people are gonna. I didn't know about it. I've never heard about it. Like I said, April had just referred somebody to you. She just learned about it.
You know, it
And
was,
see, that's why we
it
got to
was-
do better with it. Because if you guys didn't know about it, I was like, wow, okay,
We
we're not
never
reaching.
had
We
no
gotta-
idea.
We got to do some more reaching. I told my team after I talked to you guys, I said, look, they haven't heard of us, but we got to do a little bit more reaching. Like we have to do some more pushing, some more advertising.
We're gonna help too. Like I said, not only the episode, but like April said, on our letters that we already send out, we'll put the information there because I'm sure a lot of people just
Yes.
don't know about it. You
Yeah,
know.
that's what it is. Like, I mean, if you know the service exists, because you have the bus services, the shuttle services,
Right.
but Peon is more personal. It's more like I said, we're building community because you get to talk to your driver or your riders about something that's going on.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, and something that you have in common, and then you in the car and you speaking about, you know, you never know what your conversation and who it might help and how it may encourage them
That's
to just
right.
stay in there. You know, because it's hard. It's definitely hard. I know. You know, my significant other told me how hard it was. It's hard
Right.
trying to just be out and your person is in and trying to stay connected. Like it's tough.
It is.
Yeah.
I've been through this myself, and I know April has too.
Yeah.
And it's almost like for us out here, you don't want to share too much of the good
Yeah.
because you know they can't experience
Exactly.
it. You know,
Exactly.
and you just feel guilty.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but some things do, like, you know, the encouragement, you know, those things help. But you're right, the visits, they go a long way for both parties.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And everyone is speaking about prison reform, which is big, but they're not really narrowing it down because rehabilitation starts in visitation. If you getting your visits, you're less likely to go back to prison.
True.
If
Or
you're
get
not-
in trouble.
Yeah, or get in trouble.
Yeah.
So while you're in there, I know when I was speaking about PCONN, it didn't really resonate or I wasn't motivated until I knew that my idea was going outside. So when I talked to her and she left with it, whether she was telling anybody or not, I just knew it was outside. But if you just jotting, no one is coming to see you, no one, you really can't get your ideas out because I was just super excited talking about PCONN. It's like I found out how I'm gonna do the security part.
It like gave you the hope. It gave you something to look
Gave me
forward
something to
to.
look forward to.
Yeah.
So yeah. But I still have my notebook that I wrote in. I still have all my notes that I jotted.
That's great.
Yeah.
Everything.
Do you look back on that?
Yeah,
ever just
yeah.
to
I
reflect?
actually because I'm real hard on myself.
Right.
So my team, my development team, Leo and my CFO Sean, they stay on me a lot about like Michael, you came so far. You've been home 2 years. You got out in 2022, September 2022, and he's like, look. Like it's here, and I'm like, but it's like I want it to be moving.
Yeah.
But then I have to look back where it came from.
Right.
It was on these papers, and it wasn't even.
It was an idea.
It was an idea. So now look at it, and it's a brand. I'm like, okay, wow, maybe I need to just take time to be grateful, thank God, and like, man, I have came a long way in 2 years.
Right.
Like 2 years, we're actually launched and moving forward. So
Yeah.
I just sometimes just look back and like, wow, you know, I remember waking up them quiet nights because the idea popped in my head. Like, oh, you know what? I can do this. And I'll just start writing. And I didn't even know what I wanted to call it.
Right.
You know.
Just to even know that you're helping people, though. That's for us. That's
Yeah.
it. You know.
It definitely is.
Just knowing that even just one person saying thank you, guys are doing good. You know, you have good intentions. You're trying to help people. It's gonna do well. I think it's gonna do well.
Thank you so much.
And it has a ripple effect. I mean, you help one person, and then it spreads out to so many people. And I mean, I just commend you on what you're doing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You gotta bring me back.
We definitely will, because we want to do the cooking episode.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
we gotta do the cooking episode. It's a lot. Like I know the guys probably saying, "Wow, you know, he's showing the secrets here. We cooking is good."
We want to know.
Yes.
I want good food, especially if it tastes better than what we would make.
Yeah.
We need that
And we
cheesecake.
we have little to work with, but we Christmas meals, Thanksgiving meals. Oh man, we go crazy.
You guys make those. They don't like. Do
They
the
give us a
special
meal.
for-
They give us special meals, but we like the meals that we cook back on the unit better
Oh.
But we may take some items from that meal,
Right.
and like we're gonna take the chicken from the Christmas meal and make chicken fried rice,
wow.
or chicken nachos. Or,
They don't get mad like the guards. They let you guys do that in your room.
No, I mean, yeah, they for the most part
Okay.
they're supposed to, but
Oh,
they
got it, okay.
they don't really bother us. It just depends on who's working and stuff like that. But they know we gotta eat. Like,
Right.
we don't burn nothing down. But,
Right.
But you could like we'll put some grease and we'll take a trash can, one of the trash cans, and pour some grease in there and drop this thing in there and just fried chicken, fried fish.
Got the whole
And the
block
whole
smell like
I'm
fried-
talking about you can smell the chicken and fish from on the rec yard. You be like,
Who's cooking?
who cooking? Who
Do y'all
got
sell
chicken?
plates? I
Yeah,
got look.
yeah, we got. Oh yeah, that's what.
What you got? I need
and-
2
and-
bags of
and-
chips.
As long as you got stamps, because
Ah.
it depends on where you are. Stamps is the money.
Right.
So if you got books of stamps, that's your money, or macros, that's the money to the fish. So
Oh,
as long as
okay.
you got that, that's how you pay. That's your money.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it. Well, we'll definitely have you back on to do that episode.
Yeah.
Thank you so much
definitely.
for coming on today.
Oh, thank you for having
Thank
me.
you. Well, I think that people are going to just, again, we were surprised. We're still just like, I'm like, who can we tell about this? I know there's somebody out there that could utilize this service.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
So many people on both sides.
Right.
I mean, because if I'm going to a prison, I'm all for
Yeah,
taking
you can
somebody
make a couple
else with
of
me and making some
Yeah,
money.
you can make some money. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
is there anything else about the PCONN that we need to share that we need to put out there?
Just put it up there. Really, just go see your loved one.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Use Peon to go see him, but if you don't use Peon, go see him. Just go see him. If you have someone locked up, you have an incarcerated loved one, incarcerated family member, or incarcerated friend, just go see him. Just go see him. Check on their mental health, check on their wellness. Because one thing I will say is the people who don't get visits, they get mistreated. When you have people coming to see you and they know you have people coming to see you that you can tell, they really not going to play with you too much.
Oh,
You're
okay.
talking about by the guards.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
That makes
Yeah.
sense, though.
Yeah, because they like, oh, don't nobody care about him. So but if you
So
get
they
mistreated,
think they can get away with it
they
more.
think they can get away with it, and that's right. But if they see you in visitation every weekend and you connected to your family, and they ain't gonna play with that.
That's sad.
They ain't gonna play with that at all. Because it's kind of like, okay, now this person can tell. And then within the app also, we're integrating the mental health button. So when you go see your loved one, after you leave visit, on a scale of 1 to 10, you can rate their mental health. If it's low, we'll have a therapist call in there and find out what's going on.
That's awesome.
Wow.
That's great. That's a great tool.
Yes.
You know, because
Uh-huh.
how did you even? That's awesome. Did you come up with that?
Yeah.
That's great. That's great.
Wow. This is great.
It's a great service. I don't even know how this is just like trying to put all this together. Like, how did you come up with this? That's so smart because think about that. We were just talking about this in our last episode. We were talking about, mental health and, how the services are just not available or you have to wait so long to access them.
Exactly.
You can't just, so you can do it. Your loved one can do it for you.
In real time, yeah. Once you go see your loved one, and if you feel like something is off, and you can contact someone within the app, and we have therapists that work with us, and they'll call up to the prison, or they'll go, or send the clergy. Somebody's going to go check on your loved one,
Right.
and make sure that they're being taken care of, make sure if they need psych eval, anything. So, yeah.
I love this. So
I
y'all heard
do
it from
too.
Michael. You have no excuse. Go see your loved one.
Mm-hmm.
He calls. Okay, Michael. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We appreciate
Thank you. Thank you.
Keep
Thank
doing what
you.
you're doing. You're doing great work.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
absolutely.
Thank you.